Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video and welcome to part 7 of my Ultimate Park build series in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now, if you haven't seen the last episode, I recommend you watch it before you watch this one. If you don't remember what happened, just catch you up. In the last episode, we built our next dinosaur habitat, which was for the Kayuja, our first flying reptile, and I created this massive area basically just on top of a mountain for that habitat to sit in. Now I built a viewing gallery up here, but I wanted to have more buildings up here, and one way I wanted to do that was introduce a hyperloop, which is a transport building or facility where I guess can travel by like trains underground or something. Just to increase our transport rating and make the guests a bit more happy, and just to make it so that there are actually people up here, because they won't walk all the way up this mountain. But yeah, I built this little hut over here. Where I'm building it now, I do decide to move it later so that it's closer to the viewing gallery building we built out last time. But yeah, this building is just going to be in the same, pretty much just the same style as the viewing gallery we built last time. So you'll see the same wooden walls, bamboo trims on the bottom, the wooden posts, the same windows, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this area has turned out. This area on top of a mountain might be my favourite one I've built so far in this park. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. You'll see it at the end of this video what this whole area up on the mountain looks like. There's this building I'm building now, and then I do build another building up here, which you'll see in a little bit, I believe. Which is another viewing gallery, not looking into the Kayujas though, this next one. The next viewing gallery I built up here was to look down into the next habitat we are going to be building, which will be revealed in the next video, and it is one I am really excited for. Another carnivore is going to be coming into the park, and yeah, the whole canyon build I build next time is really cool. I can't wait to show you that. But anyway, this hyperloop station was nearly finished. So just adding on the finishing touches. I wanted to have kind of a little staff area around the back where we have storage and all that, some vents on the roof. I made a little planter area around the back of the building just to have some plants, which if you haven't seen my previous videos, I absolutely love the foliage in this game and all the rocks, so I try and incorporate them into my builds as much as possible. But yeah, just all these crates, wooden pallets, tyres, gas bottles, bins, just to kind of make it look like this building is being used by staff. And then yeah, here we go, it's time for the foliage, using the different flower pieces and bushes I got in the game, which all just look really nice. And with our hyperloop station for up the top of this mountain has been finished, and it is now time to move it where I wanted, just over there next to the viewing gallery. Then up next, I decided to make these fence posts to go around the entirety of the path, because I wanted to have this area kind of surrounded by forest, trees, bushes, maybe some lakes, just make it look a bit wild. Just because I think that's a really nice aesthetic to just walk through. I didn't want any. I originally planned to have another dinosaur in the center of this path area, but I decided against that and just decided to make it a bit wild. You're walking through gardens, you know, like you see in zoos. They typically have those areas where you can walk through the trees and all that. So I thought that would be quite nice. And then to do that, I also wanted to have a fence surrounding it, just because it would make it look like the guests can't just go wandering off of a mountain, because that would be a bit dangerous. So I use these like wooden fences and copied them all the way around. And here we go, this is what I mean by, I just added in loads of bushes, I made some little lakes in there, lots of trees, you know, just to make it feel a bit more wild. Like, it's not something, like the plants that I put in, they look very nice and neat. These areas I wanted to make it feel wild, like it hasn't been trimmed at all by the zoo staff. Yeah, just tons of bushes, as many as I could place in here without making it look awful. Okay, and that was pretty much this little area in here done. On the outside bits, I just decided to use the foliage brushes, just putting some trees around there, just because that was a much larger area and I didn't really care how it looked. This area in the middle here, I did actually want it to look nice, so I thought I'd place everything in myself. It didn't take too long, and I do quite enjoy doing it, so I don't mind it. Would have been easier to use the foliage brushes, but yeah. And then there's this technique I really like doing, where I just sink these trees into the ground, and you see the top of them, the leaves, they look like really good bushes, just to bulk out areas. Just really big and nice. Okay, and then it was time for the viewing gallery area up on top of this mountain that looked down on the rest of the park. And I've seen these kind of things in zoos before, where, like on mountains, where you got these like massive circular platforms like overlooking the cliff. So I made a couple of these and put them in front of the actual viewing gallery. I know because of the way guests work in this game, they won't actually walk up there at all, which is kind of sad, but at the same time I don't really care. This bit was just purely aesthetic. I did leave the actual viewing gallery open, just so guests would go in there, but yeah, this whole circular platform thing I was making out here was completely just aesthetic. And these platforms do use an incredibly high amount of pieces, so yeah. They were fairly quick and easy to make. It's just a piece count. Yeah, you just do it by rotating pieces around. It's really easy to do, and a really nice skill I like doing in this game. It's a really good trick to make circular platforms, circular buildings, circular roofs, anything circular. Yeah, and I use the same trick with these fences to copy them all around the edge, because obviously, as it looked right now, the guests could just walk off theoretically, so I wanted to have some kind of fence in there, so it looked like they wouldn't just go walking off. then as it looks right now, these platforms looked a bit bare and empty, so I decided to put a fountain in the middle of one of them and put these pterosaur statues on. I know they're not the exact same species, they're not Kyujas like we've got an exhibit up here, but it's close enough, and it looks nice having them in the fountain there in the middle. And then on the other platforms, I didn't put fountains in, but I used these planters and just scaled them up, so it just went in the middle there, and then put some trees on it. Just because having just the grey platform on there, it didn't look particularly nice. Add in a bit of colour with the plants, add in some lighting, of course, very important to all my builds. And then another thing I did, you'll see me do it in a minute, I think, probably. But while guests can't walk around up here, what you can do is put benches on these platforms, and the guests will sit down on them, and it will look like they're being used, even though no guest will actually walk around up there. Just a really nice trick, and something I absolutely love Frontier for putting into this game, because I use it so often just to make empty areas look like they're being used. Like you see, on top of all my buildings, I've put those kind of balcony bits on and then put some tables and chairs up there. You'll see how guests will just sit on them, even though there is no way for them to actually reach it. So, yes, thank you, Frontier, for putting that in. Anyway, that's pretty much all these platforms done. I believe all I do now is just add in the foliage for up here. Yeah, and then that was it for this area. I put in some little bushes and then some bigger trees. I didn't want to put too much on there because I wanted to make it look like it was a planter type thing where, you know, it's under control. It's been purposefully, every single plant there has been purposefully put in its place. So just some smaller trees, using the ferns there. I put in some red and oranges as well, using the trick of sinking the trees into the ground with bushes again. Just a really nice trick that I absolutely love doing. And yeah, then it was time for the viewing gallery section of this build. I skipped out building the walls and all the trims because it's the same for the other viewing gallery in the Hyperloop station, so you don't want to see it again. It gets a bit repetitive, I think, if I just put the same thing over and over again, so I thought I'd skip that out for you guys. But yeah, you see how I made this one functional, so if you look in the viewing gallery, you'll see out of it. But yeah, there wasn't really much else I did with this build, to be honest. I did decide to make a massive sign on the top, just to, kind of like I've done with the Kyuja canopy sign. I'd have made this one. I decided to call this whole area the peak, just because it is the peak of a mountain. So I thought that fitted quite well with this area. So I made these bamboo backboards and then just put the letters on there, recolored them, and stuck it on top of the building. And then it was on to just the rest of the finishing touches for this building. Just windows, I put on some more lights on the roofs. These yellow signs I've been putting up everywhere, they of course were put onto this build as well, just to make it fit in with the theme of the rest of the park. And then it was time for me to set up the next animal habitat or dinosaur habitat, which is going to be at the bottom of this cliff in this like canyon area, which is the name of this area, the canyon. But you will see that all in the next 2 episodes. I do more work on this habitat. This habitat took me ages to build. building this entire cliff face. I didn't really like how the in-game hills look, so I used these massive rocks, just sunk them into a cliff to make this kind of natural looking rocky cliff face that would keep the dinosaurs in and not let them climb up the cliff. And it also provided a nice lookout point from either end of a canyon and on top of a mountain. But yeah, I'm so excited to show you how this habitat goes, because it's my favourite build I've made in this game ever. It just looks so nice once it's all been completed. Yeah. So I started out by just doing this little area in this bit here, but I do decide to just make that entire mountain out of these rocks. I don't do it all in today's video, I don't think, what do I? I might do. I don't know how far I go with this rock placing, but it goes on for a while, okay? But yeah, building this cliff face took me hours of time. You will see what I mean soon by I made the entire cliff or hill out of rocks. And yeah, the piece count on this park is already getting insanely high. I'm so glad I bought this game on PC just so I could have that. This like on console. I played the other games on console, you know, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, JWE3, but having it on PC is just so much easier. Makes so many things on there I couldn't do on console. Like having no piece count now is just so nice. Okay, and here we go. I wanted to add a bit of colouring, like with some trees and bushes. So I used the same trick where I sunk the bushes into the rocks, or the trees into the ground and the rocks, just because they make really nice big bushes, which just, the actual in-game bushes just aren't quite big enough to cover this whole surface, but the trees are massive, so they can cover the entire rock base very easily. Okay, and that is pretty much it for today's video. Just a bit more placing rocks to go, to be honest, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Try and take a guess at what my next dinosaur I'm going to build a habitat for in the next 2 episodes. You can probably take a pretty good guess considering all of the water in there. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Bye.